You know, as someone who travels for a living, I've had the opportunity to see a lot of different countries and meet a lot of different people and really experience a lot of different things. But New Zealand kind of stands apart from most other places that I've been. There's something incredibly surreal about the place. The first thing that you notice, the first thing that most people notice, I think, is that the landscape is everything you'd heard about and more. I know the place got a reputation after being featured in Lord of the Rings as being this kind of fantasy world, and it is, but like even more so. What you've seen in the movies or what you've seen on TV does not hold a candle to the real thing. You've got these mountains running up against forests, running up against the ocean, running up against these lakes of this beautiful glacial water that's just this color of blue that you've never seen before. You meet these people who are just incredibly friendly and welcoming, and you get the impression that they've been kind of removed from the problems of the world in a lot of ways, and they want to bring you that same kind of peace, that well-being that they experience, and they want to show it to you. They want to share it with you. There's a lot of places in the world where tourism kind of adversely affects the people and the environment, where they start to get a little bit cynical and everything is about making the sale, or the landscape is all torn up by the constant foot and tread of tourists who come in and just don't care. But in New Zealand, it's kind of the opposite, actually, where tourism benefits the environment and the people. The reason that they're able to maintain this pristine landscape and not have to tear it up, not have to mine everything, not have to cut down all the trees, not have to hunt down all the kiwis and eat them for sustenance, is because they've got tourism. They're able to earn enough money from people coming and seeing their backyard, essentially, that they don't have to do any of that stuff. And they can continue to enjoy it, and they can continue to share it with the rest of us. You know, I don't actually usually go on tours and that kind of thing when I travel. I try to integrate myself in society and learn as much about the people and the places I possibly can. But my sister's the opposite. And my sister just had to visit me when I was in New Zealand. From everything that she had heard and everything I was telling her, she just had to be there. So when she came, we actually went on a wine tour out of Auckland, and it was fantastic. Most tours are kind of hokey, and you don't get to do what you want to do, and it's all about kind of taking you from place to place, trying to sell you stuff. But this tour, we went to a couple different wineries, and then we went to the beach, and it's just me and her and about 20 other people all having a good time, chatting each other up, talking about our lives, where we're from, and enjoying this just fantastic wine and this gorgeous landscape. I usually feel very kind of trapped by these situations, like it's too guided, it's too set up, and it just doesn't seem like a good time. But everything that I did like that in New Zealand was actually a bit different, and I think the difference is that the product is so good that you don't have to sell it. You don't have to sell people on the landscape. You don't have to sell people on the wine down there. It's just good, and they know people will buy it without them having to press you, so they just make it available, that's it. In the 4 months that I lived in New Zealand, I mostly lived in Christchurch, and down in the Canterbury region I was able to get this really fun group of friends. And we'd get together, we'd play Monopoly cards, or we'd play some other card game, and just chit-chat and kind of tell each other what we're up to, and just enjoy some good conversation and some good friendly competition. Sometimes we'd meet up and we'd head over to do some karaoke or some mechanical bull riding. You can't talk about New Zealand without talking about the beautiful nature that they enjoy. I mean, it's seriously almost unfairly beautiful in New Zealand, where you just look around everywhere you go, even if you've never taken a photograph in your entire life. Every photograph you take will look like a professionally made postcard. It's just what you have to work with there is just so gorgeous that it's unbelievable. It's seriously something that's very hard to describe, because even your photographs, they'll be beautiful and have all your friends totally jealous, but it does not compare to being surrounded by it and just immersed. There's sheep everywhere. You can chase the sheep. I don't know if they want you to chase the sheep, but it's fun to chase the sheep. I think all the wildlife wants you to come and visit too. And they'll grin and offer you some wine if they're able to. You know, it's very cheap to travel within New Zealand, actually. It's cheap to fly. Air New Zealand does a great job, and they run these deals all the time, so it's incredibly cheap to fly from one side of the country to another. But the bus system is fantastic. You can rent cars. It's very easy to drive all over the place. And the country is very small, too, so I was actually able, while I was there, to road trip across the South Island and the North Island and cover all of the ground and see just about everything, and it was so worth it. I mean, the thing is, you kind of have to go there to understand why everybody rants and raves about how cool New Zealand is. It's been one of the most influential experiences in my life. It completely changed my perspective on so many things. And, you know, even on a non-kind of philosophical level, I was able to just enjoy the company of so many interesting people and make so many great connections and enjoy a kiwi burger and a Ferg burger down in Queenstown and eat lots of hokey pokey ice cream. And I totally demolished my shoes as much time as I spent walking around just trying to enjoy the scenery. They see themselves as the caretakers of the land, but also they want to show you what they're so proud of. They're so proud of this country, so proud of the landscape, so proud of what they're doing there, so proud of their culture. They've been so kind of geographically removed from everybody else for so long that they've got this really distinct and really vivid culture that's so worth sharing. You see it in the artwork, you see it in the interactions that people have, you see it in the businesses, you see it on the smiles of their faces, you can see it in the farmers markets in the smaller towns and the ukulele festivals that you might stumble upon randomly. You can see it in the pride that they put into their work and that they put into the tours that they give to people, the food that they make and the malls where they go shopping, and every little thing about the country and the people there. You can tell who they are, and who they are it's really wonderful. It's something worth experiencing. Everything down there you can kind of describe as epic. You're not going to look around and see a horizon and just think, it's a horizon. You're going to look at it and say, wow, I'm in New Zealand. I personally cannot wait to go back.